we finally came up with a short list of what we would maybe want to invest in, whether to have the E-2,
Nice.
visa. And so it took us a long time, but we still have few questions. And then,
What type of businesses are you considering?
so we actually really like the senior home care.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I think that's one of them we really liked. The other one was the maid one, I think. Yeah,
Made this?
recommend.
Nice, eco mid.
I mean, I write down like almost 40 available for E2 visa, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. For the Vetted Biz database, we have about 450 franchises that we've reviewed at least in the last year that are at least open to having E2 visa investors.
Right. So I review every one of them.
Wow, you went through every single one. That's determined, man. How did you decide like which franchise was better than the other one?
Second thing, CHER, what can increase the from year to year.
So you wanted to see upward growth. So if we look at like budget blinds, for example, it looks like they've had a drop in the average sales, and you wanted to see that they were going up, not going down in terms of average sales.
Yes. Discretion earning.
Exactly, seller discretionary earnings. So what our sister company does, Vetted Biz, is generally they're taking the median sales from the franchise disclosure document, and then they use a industry margin to project what it would be with for an active owner operator or a little less active owner of the business.
Right. Right. So yeah, I went on a bunch of them. So I begin last month on with this. So here on the filter, I choose like just E2 visa eligible. Absolutely.
Okay, great. And have you contacted any of the franchisors yet?
No.
I interviewed. I don't know if you saw the interview I did with Radhik Patel. He's the franchisor for Options for Senior America, and his parents were in the retail space. Like now, I think they're in liquor stores. Before it was gas stations, but that was kind of like the first thing people did when they came from India or other places because you had a captive audience, and it was much harder if you didn't dominate the language to sell services, provide a service. But I think now, someone like we, your brother's background, as well as you supporting, like the economics are just a lot better for some of these service based businesses compared to, going into retail like 7-Eleven, like a hotel or a gas station. Completely. Like I know my when I talk to my dad, so my dad is sitting next to me. Oh, okay, nice. He's always like, "Oh, why don't we go and buy this store? And why don't we go buy this?" And I'm like, "I think we want to do something different. I think we want to do something like franchise." I did an interview with a South Asian guy. He's Pakistani, and he's helped a lot of people buy gas stations. And one of the things he was saying was like, it can make sense, like if you're kind of in a pseudo rural or far suburb, and then you have like a family complex. So like you also have family members that are going to live there, but that's like a very big lifestyle decision to have everyone live on site for the motel. And it's largely because people are working a lot. They're putting in a lot of hours, so they have to be there. They have to be there, yeah. And you save on rent or mortgage or this sort of thing. So I get it, but you're completely right. It's a completely different lifestyle because you are stuck for 24 hours, right? Every day. Once you get used to like the digital work from home life and traveling and going to a friend's wedding and spending a week after, it's hard to go back to that. Right. And I'm like, I don't know if we want to do that. Like I understand the saving of rent and this and that, but I'm like, how about we do this way so we have more flexibility? Yeah, service based businesses also the margin tends to be a lot better. So you have more flexibility in terms of hiring and scaling up a team. So how would it work now? Like in order to start the process, I think we just want a refresher so we can kind of jump in. Sure. If he's set on moving to the US, he's decided, he wants to go forward in the US, whether it's a franchise or your own independent business. But basically what I would recommend is you pay a month for 6 months. And that includes all the light accounting, incorporating the business, tax ID, business bank account, and then everything related for the visa, the business plan, the attorney fees, everything to get the E2 visa, as well as our support with calling the franchisor, scheduling the calls, going through the franchise validation process, being with you every step along the way as you evaluate different franchise concepts. In the senior care space, I think we've had clients invest in six of the brands in the last like 18 or so months. So we know the space decently well. We've looked at pretty much all of the brands in senior care space. So, we could have that as, one of the, the plan A option, but then also look at other service concepts that would work for you too and see, or where are you thinking about opening the business?
We are flexible according to what franchise.
Not very flexible in the distance.
Sure.
But let me ask you something. Like, it's not something we have to go physically every week or something, right? Like when you own, it's more like
I would prefer that is like very hands on for the first like 18 months. Like I just spoke to one of our former clients. He's the number one franchisee in his system. He was very hands on for 12 months. And then he's developed a team and he's not working day to day in the business. Nothing replaces like setting the culture, and he's created like a really nice environment where people want to work, and there's promotional paths, but it was him and his wife that really rolled up their sleeves, and he was a corporate executive, and he did everything for 12 months. So I encourage our clients to do at least that, 18 to 24 months, like on site, driving the hiring, training, doing the strategic sales and really understanding the business. And then little by little, you can offboard task, telling an employee exactly how to do it, having done it yourself is going to build a lot more credibility.
Understood. Okay, and then for this home, like, let's say we go for senior care, just hypothetically. When you're saying like you want us to be hands-on and things, is this like a business that you can do, like that we have to have a spot, a brick and mortar place?
No, I mean, depending on the franchisor, they're going to require you to have a small office. So, like most of the home care franchises, the agency is going to serve as a place to interview the caregivers. So the caregivers come on site, and you conduct the final interview in person before bringing the caregiver on. Pretty much all the franchises in the senior care space will require some small physical presence. It could be 500 square foot office to begin with. There are some service businesses that don't require a physical office. For example, if you're doing bath and kitchen remodeling, you might not need a physical office, and the truck can kind of serve in terms of storing the inventory, and you're more going on site to your customers.
Okay.
It's not the same field, right?
Yes, we should talk to different franchisors and different industries to then see, which one you really see yourself. And probably more important than talking to the franchisors is talking to franchisees, including those that have already obtained the E-2 visa, living in the US, seeing if they would do the investment again.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So when you say talking to the franchisee and things like that, is this something we can do once we start the process? We can kind of start doing that, right?
Exactly. So you become a Visa franchise client. Basically, you review the agreement, you sign it, and then you complete the client questionnaire. And then within 2 to 3 business days, we arrange a call to go through. And then you give us 3 to 4 business days, and we'll source the best businesses available in the desired markets that you're looking to run the business, operate the business from. We have a call to review those options, and then we start presenting you to franchisors. And then in parallel, we'll have an initial call with the filing attorney, the attorney that will be filing the E-2 visa case on your behalf. And then we're going through the due diligence process, connecting you with franchisees, collecting any other financial information from the franchise disclosure documents from the franchisor, and then doing the company formation once we decide on the state. And then in parallel, we start the business plan, the initial preparation for the form to apply for the E-2 visa. If you were to engage us, this week, I would imagine the whole process would take 3 to 6 months to be able to invest and get the E-2 visa. But yeah, we see a lot of volume. We've had 155 clients so far this year. So, based on your case, of those 155 clients, I think it's like 20 different immigration attorneys we've worked with. So we'll be able to bring, the best 1 or 2 that will file our case, work on the strategy, and then apply, get the E-2 visa benefit. And then we're doing all the light accounting work, incorporating and the tax ID, sifting through the businesses. And we'll give you a year access as well to vetted bids. So you have the access for a year. And so you don't have to pay month to month anymore.
So like the front, we don't have a business account, of course, right now, right?
We'll open up an account. We can do that remotely. We got to get the funds in his name and then transferred to the US. It could be directly to that business bank account, or it could be to a personal account. We can work with a bank that can open both a personal and then business. But the trail of the funds, and this is an important part why we bring in, the filing attorney, one that has experience with whatever mechanism it's going to be. So if it's going to be sale of property and that's how we made the money, or if it's going to be a gift that's going to be easier, or a family loan. Usually the first 2 to 3 weeks, we decide on what the best source of funds is. It's going to be compliant for the E-2 visa, as well as easiest for you and your family.
Okay, so it's better to wait for now on this too.
If you engage us, give us 2 to 3 weeks, we start collecting information. You tell us about a few of the different options. Together with the outside attorney or in-house attorney, will work together to propose a solution for you guys.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. And then if we want to do as a partnership, E2, just you never know.
Exactly.
He has to be 51%.
50 or more. There's negative control. If he has 50%, you have 50%, he essentially has, he can veto anything. 51% would be a little cleaner, but we've had clients do 50.
So another question is, as soon as we appoint you guys, we still have some time to choose the franchise, right?
The contract's for a year, so we'll go at your pace. Usually it's 3 to 6 months for the whole process, 6 to 8 weeks to choose the franchise, start the investment process. But if you want to take 6 months, we're working with you.
Got it. Okay.
From our end, there's no pressure. It's usually the client that wants to move faster. And so we move at their pace, but whether it's slower or faster, we're here for that.
Understood. Okay.
Okay, I will proceed now.
Basically, I just send the contract, the questionnaire, and then the link for the payment. And then once we have those 3 items completed, within 48 hours, we schedule the video onboarding call.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.